Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica and today I wanted to continue our Newcrest project because I kind of was neglecting that for over a month now, and we have literally just four more lots to fill in the house, because ignore this one, this is where my legacy family lives. And today I wanted to build a restaurant down on this cookout lookout lot in this area of Newcrest where we have just the whole street. So I think that let us get started, and I think let us directly skip right into the speed build. So let us get started. First thing first, of course, I was making a shell and I was trying to go for something similar to everything we have around here. So actually this restaurant looks a lot like the 40K house that I have literally next door to this restaurant. And that's mostly by the shape, by the colors outdoors. But on the inside, it's gonna look much different because exterior mostly was only basement. But on the inside, I went all out with the packs because, yeah, it is another build where I did not limit myself with the packs, so warning is in the beginning of the video. So as for the style of the restaurant itself, at first I did not know what kind of restaurant I want to make, and I did not even know if I want to make a restaurant. At first I thought that I should make maybe a cafe or maybe a bar, but in the end I decided that actually restaurants are a little bit more fun. And somebody may disagree with me because they are kind of known for being glitchy. But as for me, yeah, restaurants used to have a lot of glitches. But I remember those moments when you were playing with the dine out and surprisingly nobody was taking your plate from your table while you were just interrupting while eating that. But as I know, there is still a little glitch when your Sims are eating food and drinking something in the same time, and then when they finish their drink, they just stop eating, and that's annoying. But anyway, I just think that restaurants are a little bit more fun, and I was kind of inspired by that bistro kit that we got not so long ago. So I wanted to build with that. So I have used it in here a lot. And I have figured that actually this bistro kit goes a lot with, I don't know, some sort of like a British pub style, maybe like a fancy one. And that is actually, for me, was that kind of energy I was trying to channel, at least on the inside, because I'm completely not sure if I managed to do that properly on the outside. And as for the whole floor plan, I have struggled here a lot. I did cut it out again because I was making that, removing that, making that and removing that. I was moving the kitchen around. And in most of the floor plans I was trying to make, I found myself not being able to find a spot for a toilet. And that was not good because you kind of need a toilet in the restaurant, because if you grab a drink, your Sims bladder need will go down just like that. So in here, I finally managed to find that kind of a floor plan with which it was possible to fit a toilet. And actually in here, we're gonna have two toilets, and they're not marked in any way like at all. There is like not a toilet door specific I have used in here. I have just used a regular door just because I think that it looks kinda like in some sort of an old pub that maybe only locals come over here. And I'm imagining that yes, this place will have a lot of tables, a lot of sitting areas, but I'm imagining that maybe people who live next door in the apartment complex are going over here. Maybe people who live next door in the houses come over here too, because in the couple of houses we have next door, there are like 3 bedrooms in each one of them. And we do not know about the amount of people who live in the houses surrounding this neighborhood because we are not able to build in there and function in there because it seems 4. So I'm imagining that this is like a local pub, maybe local bar or stuff like that, but I made it a restaurant. So it's gonna be like a pie restaurant because the only food that is served in here is pies and some drinks. So in here you will be able to get some nectars because you will see a little bit later, you will see that I did place here a lot of bottles. I think that you have already seen some of them, but I did place here like literally very much, like too much of them maybe. And I decided to place here some barrels from with the drinks which came with the horse ranch, just because I thought that they were fitting the vibe perfectly. And I was using in here horse ranch nectars too, but when I was loading these builds from the gallery to check how it goes, I found out that on the shelves where I did place the bottles were disappearing, but shelves were there. So shelves still, they do give the vibe, but in the end, when I'm gonna give you a tour, I will show you what you can do if you have access to the gallery, if you have horse ranch, and if you want to have bottles on these shelves. I will show it to you because I had to do that myself again. And also, as for this whole bar, as I'm imagining, this is like mostly a bar at not like a restaurant kind of area, but at the same time, I actually wanted to make it a cafe in the first place. But then I decided that maybe restaurant is gonna be like some sort of, I don't know, combination of these two things. So it's in the same time like a cafe, and also in the same time it's like a bar because like you can eat in here, you can drink in here, and that is why I was kind of picky about the food I was picking for this place. So mostly, as I have said, as we have a lot of bottles of nectars everywhere around here, this place serves nectars as drinks mostly, and also coffee, just in case. And as for the food, it's only pies. And except for maybe some appetizers, because for there I did place like a couple of salads, just in case. And also I did place vampire drinks. So you can have here plasma jane, that is the only food that vampires who cannot eat can eat. So this place is accessible for vampires. So that is something good too, I think. And also I did place here that plasma fruit salad, so that just in case you come over here and you invite vampire, the vampire will have something to eat, at least something. Because I remember when the vampires just came out, and when the Dine Out was out, I was playing with vampires a lot. It was like literally my favorite way to play The Sims. Just make a vampire, make him or her pretty, and play with them like all day long. Like perfect low maintenance Sims. Because vampires they not need to sleep. If you like boost their energy perk, then they will not need to sleep at all because their energy will not fall down at all. And as for the drinks, like go for the frogs or be an evil vampire and drink people's blood. So that's how I was playing with The Sims. And I remember when I wanted to play with Dine Out, I was so disappointed when I figured that one of the minor perks of my vampires was the fact that they could not eat any food, because it was like one of those perks that I was thinking did not affect the gameplay at all, and I was kind of disappointed that I could not play with vampires and with restaurants in the same time. So I figured later that in every single restaurant that I did place in the world from the gallery, which like from the library, because if you get Dine Out, you get some restaurants in the library. So with those restaurants, I was going around them and I was picking plasma fruit salads and also plasma jane so that my vampires could eat in this restaurant. So I decided to do the same thing in here. And as I was telling you about my gameplay with vampires, you can see now that I do place a lot of nectars everywhere around. Like literally on the inside, we have several shelves with nectars. We have a lot of nectar storage, of course. We have some boxes with nectars behind the bar. And you might have already noticed that we suddenly do have a sim walking around here, which is actually Alicia Sands, my first child, my 100 baby challenge. If you didn't know, watch my 100 baby challenge. It's fun in there sometimes too. Like slow self-advertisement. Now it's over. And let us go. Not 100 baby challenge. Advertisement is over. I'm still on to my 100 baby challenge, but as for the bar, as for this restaurant, as you have seen that I was using Alicia to kind of like walk around everywhere and play test it all, because this place did need play testing, because I wanted it to look a lot like cluttered, to have a lot of like small tiny things everywhere, like without any empty corners. And these kind of builds actually do require play testing, because when you fill up all of the corners, sometimes one of these things can have much bigger footprint than you might see, because the thing itself might be like kind of tiny, like a plant, but your sims won't be able to walk around them if there's a chair next to that, and even though like there is like a visible gap, like big one. So I was using her a lot to help me playtesting that. She was helping me a lot. She did a very good job and she did struggle a lot. So I needed to cheat her and hit several times because otherwise she would feel miserable and she could have peed on the floor in the restaurant that it's still not finished. So that would be rude on her side. So in here, she was helping me a lot with playtesting, and that is why now we are on a budget. Because for playtesting purposes, I decided that it's gonna be much easier if she just buys this restaurant. And anyway, I need somebody to buy a restaurant because otherwise I cannot customize its menu or I don't understand something wrong. But I think that you cannot customize the menu for a restaurant if you do not own that. So she bought that and she was playtesting. She was helping me playtesting that a lot. And now, as you have seen, I kind of mostly finished the interior of our restaurant area. So in here we have like a waiting room where I decided to place like some sitting area with the couch. Also in there we have a host station, so like maybe you come over to this restaurant, all of the tables are occupied, so you come up to the host and they tell you like, oh, all of our tables are occupied right now, you can wait out here, like here are the couches, or you can go to the bar and wait by the bar. So that is why I decided to place a bar like kinda in the entrance, so it's like the first room you come from the entryway. And then when you're called like for your table, you go either to the left or to the right. On the left, I have like kind of like a tiny little cozy area where we have several tables for like variety of numbers of sims. So I even decided to place one of the table for one sim only because I think that it's kind of like nice. I think that if locals do really go in local pubs, there is probably at least one person who would come over there alone every single night, maybe sit alone, deep in his thoughts, and like maybe read some books and do something like that. So I decided to give these kind of like spaces in this area. So we have a couple of tables that are only for one scene. Of course, most of the tables are either for 3 or 4 scenes, but there are also a couple of tables for 6 scenes. So I decided to like give all of you a variety, and to myself, of course, a variety of number of sims with whom you can come over here to this pub. So in here, yes, we have like this tiny room where we have a couple of tables for two, one for four, and one for one. And also, if you go from this bar area on the right, there is a tiny hallway which is like a stuff area. I decided to make it, and in this stuff area, we have like some sort of hallway where I decided to place a locker so that all of the staff can place their stuff in there. And also there is a waiter station and some more nectar bottles. And from there, your Sims will be able to access a staff restroom, I was imagining it is. So we have like a tiny bathroom accessible from the staff hallway. And from this same hallway, you can also access the kitchen, and the kitchen is kind of small in here, but I'm imagining like we are making here only pies, and pies are usually, I think they are mostly pre-made, like even in big bakeries. I think that they mostly just pre-make the pies. They store them either in the freezer or in the fridge when they make them in the morning, and then they just bake them for the customer to serve. So it's like not the full process, otherwise you would be sitting there and waiting for your pie for an hour and a half. And of course, dine out works like that, you wait for your food for an hour and a half, but I did not want to, like, for slight realism, make it like that. So in here we have like a tinier kitchen, of course, but it's like tiny little cozy kitchen, and that's all I can say about that. And yeah, in all of the bathrooms we have peacock sinks, and I know that that must be a lot, but I'm imagining that maybe it used to be a house of rich lady. And let us go back to me explaining the floor plan. If you go on the right, like further ahead from this hallway, like do not enter that, go straight ahead, you will enter into a sunroom of sorts. And in there I decided to place the biggest table, and I was struggling so much with the table because in this sunroom I decided to place string lights and some clutter in the corners. And that was my huge mistake for here, because with me deciding to do that, I was struggling a lot with these rooms functionality because it was not functioning right. Alicia could not walk around these chairs when they were planted in the corner. Later, she wasn't even able to walk around these chairs without anything around them. So I decided to place there a couple of less chairs. So I originally intended for this table to fit 8 people, but in the end it fits only 6. So we do not have any 8 seam tables in here, but I don't think that that's a problem. Like, I would not like to go to the restaurant with 8 seams, especially if most of them are not my seam, because I would have to pay for them all anyway. And that is kind of like the weird part about Dine Out, because even if you're asked on a date to a restaurant, you pay. So it's always you who pays for all the people you're going there with. And that is a little bit weird. I wouldn't like to go to the restaurant like that when I pay all the time. It's like I would feel as if like all of my friends are trying to take advantage of me. So that's a little bit weird, I think. So that's a weird part about that app. But anyway, in the sunroom we have only 6 chairs, and on the outside we have multiple more sitting areas, and that is just, I was imagining that kind of maybe this place takes only locals when it's winter, when it's cold times, but when it's warm outside, when it's spring or summer, they are taking much more people over here because, like, in this area of Newcrest we have a longish park in the back, so maybe a lot of people are going over here for a jog or stuff like that, and then maybe it's nice for them to come over here for a drink or two. So that's what I was mentioning here. And yes, outside we have quite a lot of sitting areas, and not only on the patio. You will see that I did place a couple of more sitting areas which are much more fancy on the green part of our whole backyard. So in our backyard we have like 2-level backyard. One of them is like a patio, another one is the backyard. Obviously. So in the backyard I decided to make like a tiny garden nook where I decided to place like a tiny water fountain, so your sim can just sit there on the bench and watch the water, like enjoy the weather, or maybe read a book if you want to. And also I was kind of imagining that it would be like really cozy and nice way to spend your time outside if you just go and eat somewhere where it's cute and cozy. Maybe, like, some of the restaurants have like summer areas where when the weather is good, and maybe when the trees are green and not like gray and lifeless, they have some seats outside, maybe under the trees, under the grapevines. And I was kind of imagining this kind of view in my head. So I decided to place a couple of trees, and I decided to place a pergola in the back of this whole build. So in here we will have again that Riviera Retreat pergola, which I have used in my last kind of on the bigger side build. And yes, I'm using this kit again because it's kind of new for me, so I'm a little bit excited to play with that. So that is why I'm using it here again, as I have said. And I decided to play there like a nice and cozy dining area. And also I did place that like white spreaded tree from Cats and Dogs, which is like white flowers mostly. And I decided to place it here because the neighboring building has a similar tree, and that would be kind of like a fun reference to say that, it is actually one project. That is why we can't have like cross references to each other. So I decided to place here like this white tree from the Cats and Dogs, which looks like an umbrella, but it's tree, and it kind of overhangs above a second dining area in this whole build on the green patch. So our green backyard, which happened to be the largest part of our whole like build, I did fit here only 2 sitting areas, only 2 eating areas. So you would not have all that much space to eat out here, all that much tables to eat out here. And these 2 tables are more likely to be occupied because they are fitting 4 seams. Each one of them fits 6. So in here we have 2 tables that fit 6 seams. So that should be okay for us all. Everybody should be able to fit in here because, as I have said, I'm not imagining anybody going to a restaurant in the Sims with more than 6 Sims. Like, I would not like to feed with my own money 6 people because that is expensive, especially in the restaurant. Even though for this restaurant, when I was setting up a menu, I did not set a very high markup. We have only 100%. That is the lowest one we can get. So they are not working for that much money. So as I'm imagining that this is like an old restaurant where the prices did not go up like in a very long time, and they just do not care about profit all that much. They do care about the vibe. That's what I'm imagining in here. So I think that now for me not to over explain myself with all of this stuff, with all of this restaurant, and actually the only thing that is left now is some of the landscaping and some of the terrain and also some decor for our back patio. I think I'm gonna pop back into the game and show you what we have ended up with and what we have as a final product and what you can download from the gallery. So here is the final product. Yet again, I maybe overdid it a little bit with the landscaping, but I think that that just looks all bright and colorful. Out here we have like a wraparound entryway for our restaurant. And yes, so when you look at it first, it doesn't look all that much like a community area, except for these couple of signs. And these signs are lighting up at night. In here I was using the same lights I was using up here, which are these base game lights from Painter Career, and I just did side them down a couple of times and hide them into the roof. So we have a little bench out here. You can go around on our wraparound porch, go up here to the front door, and as you will enter the place, in here we have our kind of, I'm imagining, fancy entryway. In here you can place your umbrella, you can give your coat for it to be hung up here or hang it up here because we are imagining like a cozy family kind of restaurant or stuff like that. In here the host is gonna wait for you. This is a bar stool that I did size down, maybe for the host to rest between the guests. And in here I'm imagining it's like meal of a day, like a pie of a day is gonna be posted out here, so maybe one of the locals can come over here, ask what is the pie of the day today, and they are going to be answered by this sign or by the host. And this is like, I don't know, a tiny thing for them to check up on what's on the menu today. And up here we have like a waiting area. I'm imagining that if you're waiting, you can grab a couple of drinks, you can use the bathrooms, and these are our bathrooms. And yes, peacock sinks, fancy toilets from the vampires, fancy mirrors, and fancy wallpapers, fancy tiles up here. I'm imagining that this is some like a utility storage in here, and of course a plant. Why don't we have a plant? And all of the bathrooms have kind of similar layout. So in all of them we have a towel, in all of them we have some soap, and in all of them we have some toilet papers and a couple of lights. And I decided to place several of these posters from the bistro kit and these nectar shelves, as I have said. As you enter through this archway, you enter into the bar area, like pub area, I'm imagining it is. And in here we have a bar with some sittings. We have this bottle, and this is like our whole bar layout. And when I was downloading this lot from the gallery, these shelves were empty. And if you want to fill them up with nectars, you can just go on the gallery and look for the nectars. And if you go out there, you will find some stuff like this. And if you place that like in the world, you can literally go to the lift mode and grab all of these bottles. Of course not these ones because these are the bistro kit bottles. You can stick all of these tiny bottles into the shelves all by yourself, because unfortunately I do not know how to do that, but somehow I did not manage to keep these bottles of nectars in their shelves when they are on the gallery, because I don't know how to do that. But anyway, back to explaining the build. And here we have some open crates with the nectar bottles, some more posters, some more curtains. And in here, like this wave with these eco lifestyle green panels, I was kind of trying to make like modernish areas for this build, like, you know, in some modern coffee shops, in some like popular ones, people usually place something like that, like a logo on top of the green wall, and I did that here too. And up here we have like a sitting area in case you're just here for the bar. Like you can come in here for the bar too. Like I think that mostly in the restaurant there is a bartender. And now let us go first through the staff area. In the staff area we have this hallway with a wait station. Also in here we have some more necked crates, menu of the day again, and this locker, and I'm imagining that this is used maybe for employers to keep some of their stuff in there, like useful things. And employers do have a little bit simpler of a toilet, so they have like much simpler furniture around here, cheaper toilet, cheaper sink, and the same kind of like utility closet and a plant. And the same toilet paper, towels, but they also have paper towels. And if you go in here through this door, you will be able to enter the kitchen. The kitchen has like the typical chef station. I decided to place here in our chimney a couple of these things from get to work. So as if like this place has real ventilation because not of them do, not all of them do. And also in here we have a coffee maker, a sink, and a fridge, and another closet just in case. I don't know what they keep in here. And in here we have this trash can. And actually, if you wanna, you can switch that to money trash can in case you wanna own this restaurant. And also these aprons. That's what I was kind of trying to do out here. And that is the staff area. It's kind of like small, but also for the staff area, the bar is like a closed off area on the front, and it can be entered only through the staff area. And that is my preference usually for the bars in the builds. I do not like when there is like just an open gap somewhere for the bar. I prefer when the bar is kind of like built in, as I did in here. So in the bar we have like these more shelves with nectars. I was warning you, so here it is. And we have this mirror with some of these lights. I think that I kind of like the way this bar looks in the end. So it kind of looks cute. And I decided to place here this divider so that the customer who's gonna sit out here will not be that much bothered with the waiter who's gonna walk out from the kitchen and to the tables, out from the kitchen and to the tables. Like he won't see that. He won't see that guy that well. So that's what I'm imagining. And this is the only table that is not functional as a dining area because this table is a bar table. So this is, as I have said, like a pub area for me. As we go from here to this room, in here we have like some sitting areas, and this is where we start a restaurant. So in here we have like a pedestal with the bust and also plants, some lamps. I just decided to stick these lamps in the corners like as some sort of statement pieces, and I think that they look kind of cute. And this is that like one person table we have in here, and also we have a couple of tables for two people, and I'm imagining that they are like for the date. That's what I'm imagining. And as we go up on this side, in here we have our sunroom, and I'm telling you, it's a sunroom. We have a glass roof up here, and for it to not look silly with all of these string lights just hanging up nowhere, I decided to stick in here some of the fences as if we have some sort of a carcass for the building. And I know that from the inside it looks kind of silly because we have no feelings of the roofs, otherwise it would eat up these tiny fences, but it looks kind of okay if you look at it like that, and there is no like annoying roofing up here. And it looks kind of cute like that because you see we have like an old wooden table out here, some stone floorings, we have these panels up here because I'm imagining that this part of the building is built up to this brick part, so it wasn't here originally. It was like a straight home with a bump out on the side. And the same I'm imagining for this whole patio, of course, because who would need patio this big in their personal residence? So up here we have like this tiny sunroom with some more clutter for restaurant, as if they decided not to keep all of these like tiny menus and stuff on the table, but they just decided to place it on the side table. So it's like a private room of sorts in here. And also in here we have some slide decor, and of course I did not forget about it, but we have a duck on a pedestal this time, so everybody loves a duck. And let us go outside now. this decor you did not see in the speed build, I think, but in here we have a couple of bases. In here we have a knight, some more logos of the restaurant, some plants, and in here on the side I decided to make some sort of a community board because I'm imagining that a lot of people are coming over to this restaurant. That is why we have like some maybe local news in here, and in here we have like some of the things you might need, or maybe this is like a sort of like a tiny self-made wait station. So waiters can come over here, they can grab some of the utensils and bring them to you. And on every single table we have some different clutters. So some of almost all of them have these tiny pieces with menu and glasses on them. We have some lamps over here, some lights on most of them, because otherwise it's not going to be too visible at night, and this way it's kind of visible well. So that's what our back looks like. And in here on this side we have a logo too. We have some bottles on the tables. We have some signs as if they're kind of like, I don't know, announcing like, hey, you see, on the Thursday we're gonna have a bear night and stuff like that. In here we have some barrels with some more nectar. That's what I'm imagining. And we have this pergola out here, like self-made one. And I was just using the fences to do them, removing all of the floorings, and just sticking some random bushes on top so that it looks like a cute shade in the day. And I think that it, in the end, looks kind of nice. We have a lot of plants around here, as I have said, and in here we have some sort of like more wine storage with some owls, just because they're cute. And here maybe is, I don't know, it's like some sort of a significant nectar, like it's a famous one, and maybe they have ordered something from a limited collection or something like that. So that's what I'm imagining for all of the back of this whole lot. And here is another single table in here, but most of them out here are couples and or fours. And now let us go down. As you go down, you go to this, like you see directly, this table for 6. And it's like one more fancy table, kind of like this one, because in here we have like a private area divided with this whole pergola. And I know that these pergolas, they do have these beautiful swatches with some curtains, but no. Vines look much better in my opinion. That is why I decided to place them out here. And in here we have like a typical clutter, a couple of bottles, a couple of glasses, and a candle. And we have a lot of plants out here. And as you go out here, in here we have some sort of like a private garden vibes. So as you enter here, we have a trash can in here, a tiny one. We have sitting area, and we have a water fountain. So you can sit in here and watch the water, enjoy your time. And if you go on the left out here, in here we have another sitting area under this widespread tree. And you see neighbors have the same one, so that's why we have it out here. In here you can sit and enjoy your time too. And that is pretty much all of the restaurant. Like all other things that you did not see from the spill build are just some landscaping and clutter. And that's pretty much it. And I did not place here a lot of carpets, only in the sitting areas with the comfy furniture like couches or armchairs, because you do not need a rug in the restaurant. It's gonna get dirty very fast. And hardwood floors look kind of expensive too. And by the way, the thing I did not forget about this time, we have painted ceilings. You see, everywhere except of course for the sunroom, because sunroom doesn't have a ceiling, and except for this stuff area and the bathrooms, because bathrooms would usually have like plain white painted ceilings. The same for the kitchen, for the toilets and stuff like that. So I did not forget about this tiny detail, and I'm kind of very proud about that. And you see how similar this build is to our neighbors, and I do not care. They match, that's what I'm gonna say, because we have like several similar buildings. Maybe they all were built in the same time, but this one was renovated to be a restaurant. That is why it looks a little bit more developed. And this restaurant is actually can be downloaded from my gallery. That is what I forgot to tell you about that. And this restaurant is called Pie Restaurant because I did not imagine a cute name for that. And yes, I do struggle with naming my builds. And in here we have 3 bathrooms, and this is a pie cafe for a cookout lookout. Serves pies and supports vampire customers as it serves salad and cocktails with a plasma fruit too. And now, by the way, what I forgot to show you is our outfits. So I decided to give my waiters, my chefs, and also to all of the staff their own outfits. So this is what our cooks are gonna wear. So they have like these cute cottagey vibes, and I decided that cooks do need something to tie their hair up. So she has this kind of hat, covering her head like so that you do not have hair in your food. And as for the masculine rain theme, I decided to pick the same kind of outfit with similar hat. I think that it looks a little bit silly, but it's still fine. So that's also not to wet your feet in case you drop something and to stay clean while you cook. And now let me show you what the waiters are gonna wear. So this is for feminine frame, and in here we have like this kind of green and pinkish outfit with some boots so that it gives some cottage vibes too. And as for the masculine frame, your Sims are gonna wear stuff like that. So it's again cottage vibes out here. So they all look cute and nice, and they wear cozy clothes, and everybody's feeling all right. And we have the vibe, of course. On the outside, they're a little bit more, I don't know, Italian villa, but not British pub. But on the inside, I think that I managed to keep up with, I don't know, British and French pub, and I managed to make it look okay. And that is what our host is gonna wear. So host is a little bit more like, I don't know, celebrational looking. So they look a little bit more fancy. So she's wearing a long dress with some puffs all the way around and this same hat. And she's on the heels because she's not a waiter. Waiters do need comfortable shoes because they walk a lot. And hosts, they do walk, but they do not walk as much as waiters do because waiters, especially in the understaffed restaurants, they literally run around all the time. And this is what our host is gonna look if he has a masculine frame. So kind of cottagey too, I'm imagining. So that is mostly it, except for the menu. Let me give you a quick tour on the menu. And I know that I've been talking for a very long time now, but as for the menu, we have, of course, water and sparkling water, whatever you prefer. We also have some coffee because with sweet pies, coffee is the best. And we have all of the nectars game had to offer me. As for the appetizers, we have some cold cuts, we have a pretzel, we also have some breadsticks, fruit salad, and a plasma fruit salad. And I decided to place here a fruit salad so that it's, like you can come here with your vampire friend, and this vampire friend might eat a plasma fruit salad, but he will eat a fruit salad. Like you eat similar foods. And Plasma Jane is not forgotten too. And as for the main course, we are gonna have a cottage pie, folk meat cottage pie, fish pie, shepherd's pie, spinach and mushroom pie, onion quiche, also meat pie and whole meat pie. And for the desserts, we have pies too. So it's apple pie, banana cream pie, blueberry chocolate pie, pumpkin, raspberry, lemon meringue, and also cowplant essence pies. So that's the menu for a restaurant, and it is indeed a pie restaurant, as I have named that. Maybe I should have named that Pies and Vampires, I don't know, but I did not. So that must be it. You can download this restaurant from my gallery. My gallery name is gloverunt, just like my YouTube name. And now I think it must be thank you all for watching. And if you like videos like that, you might subscribe to my channel. And I think that this must be a goodbye. Bye, guys.